spokesman refuses to rule out the use of nuclear weapons if Russia faces an existential threat. Government adopts 10-point agenda for speedy economic recovery. DPWH developed Davao City Coastal Road Project different from ordinary highways. PBA Converge takes over Alaska Aces franchise. And boy Minnie Mouse has a newfound love for lo-fi hip-hop. Russian President Vladimir Putin's main spokesperson said that Moscow has yet to achieve any of its military objectives in Ukraine and refused to rule out the possibility of using nuclear weapons. Elisha reporting live from Russia.
Good evening, Gab. These are the latest news in Russia. Dmitry Peskov repeatedly refused to rule out the possibility of Russia using nuclear weapons against an existential threat in an interview with CNN's Christian Amanpour on Tuesday. When asked under what conditions Putin would use Russia's nuclear capability, Peskov replied that it is an existential threat for our continent. Putin has already said that he may use nuclear weapons against countries that pose a danger to Russia. He then said in a televised meeting with the Russian defense officials that officials in leading NATO countries have allowed themselves to make aggressive comments about the country. Therefore, he hereby ordered the Minister of Defense and the Chief of the General Staff to place the Russian Army Veterans Force on combat alert. Back to you, Gab.
Thank you, Elisha, for that report. In Manila, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has directed the government departments and offices to adopt the 10-point policy agenda to hasten the recovery of the Philippine economy from the impact of the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic. Jaya files this report.
National Report. Under Executive Order EO-166, Inc. Budgetary amended and released on Wednesday, the adoption of the 10-point policy agenda will fast-track economic recovery and drive broad-based expansions across various productive sectors amid the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Executive Order, the Economic Development Cluster has recommended the adoption of the 10-point policy agenda to accelerate and sustain the country's economic recovery. There is an urgent need to adopt policies on economic recovery to sustain current economic gains, minimize the pandemic's long-term adverse effects, and restore the country's development trajectory. All government departments, bureaus, offices, agencies, and instrumentalities, including government-owned or controlled corporations and state universities and colleges, are mandated to ensure that all related policies, measures, and programs are aligned with the adopted policy agenda. They are directed to strengthen healthcare capacity and speed up the COVID-19 vaccination program. They are also told to further reopen the economy, expand public transport capacity, and ensure face-to-face learning. State agencies are likewise instructed to standardize local government units (LGUs) requirements for domestic travels and local tourism, as well as to relax requirements for international travel. According to the EO, all government departments and offices must also formulate and propose legislation to ensure the implementation of enhanced and flexible emergency measures during the pandemic. EO-166 also orders the shift to more useful and empowering metrics, taking into consideration the total severe or critical cases, case fatality ratio, and total vaccinations to avoid unnecessary changes in alert levels, and encourage more people to get vaccinated against COVID-19. The national government is also directed to prepare medium-term solutions to ensure the country's resilience against future pandemics. This has been Eugene Ronald reporting GMCFI News.
Thank you, Jaya. For the latest update on local news, let's have 30 Vicente. 30?
Following the claims of Vice Presidential candidate Walden Bello that the Davao City Coastal Road project is riddled with corruption. The Department of Public Works and Highways emphasized that the project is very different from ordinary highways. Bello said during the Commission on Elections he announced the Bigs 2022, the turning point on Sunday evening, March 20, that the funding of the cultural project is being corrupted. In a forwarded statement, TPWH Secretary Roger Mercado did not directly comment on Bello's statement, but instead emphasized that the Davao City Cultural Project is a composite highway with various components, and very different from ordinary highways. Mercado said that Coastal Road is one of the agency's flagships in Davao, to solve the traffic along the Cotabato Davao Road, starting from the rural area going to the city proper. He said the project will serve as a bypass road, a coastal shore protection, and breakwater that protects the city from sea wave actions, water surges, and shore erosion. On one side, he said geotubes were installed for reclamation as protection. Class 1 and Class 2 rocks were also put in place with hexapods, seawall and wave deflector to reduce the intensity of wave actions, which is prevalent in the area during amihan season. On the other side, gutted reflux road protection was constructed over Class 3 rocks. He added that other facilities include theater access road, metal guardrails, construction at roundabouts at Times Beach and Rojas Avenue, concrete fence including posts, roadway lighting, plant boxes, and drainage structures using high-density polyethylene pipes for high level of recoverability. The Department of Transportation had earlier denied Bello's claims that there is corruption in its public utility vehicles modernization program. In response to Bello's allegations, the DOTR said there were 1,659 corporations and cooperatives operating nationwide as of March 4. The public utility buses alone, it said there were 131 consolidated operators. This has been Teddy Vicente, reporting JMCFI News.
Manila, Philippines Internet Service Provider Converge ICT Solutions has taken over the Alaska Aces franchise in the PBA. The newest PBA team will make its debut in the next season. Dion has this report.
Internet service provider Converge ICT Solutions has taken over the Alaska Aces franchise in the PBA. The newest PBA team will make its debut next season. We are happy to announce the entry of Converge ICT Solutions Incorporated in the Philippine Basketball Association. This was made possible following the successful conclusion of the sale and transfer of the Alaska franchise to Converge, said Dennis Oy, Converge co-founder and CEO, in a statement Wednesday. The franchise was approved on Tuesday, just 3 days after Alaska played its final PBA game. I wish to thank the PBA Board of Governors, led by Chairman Ricky Vargas, PBA Commissioner Willie Marshall, and Alaska team owner Mr. Wilfred Oetengsu for the invaluable and unqualified support they have done Converge in realizing its quest to become a member of the PBA. The statement read, in the PBA Season 47, which starts in June, Converge aspires to bring to the court a brand of basketball consistent with its revolutionary and entrepreneurial spirit. This is John Jefferson M. Mesa reporting.
Thank you, Dion, for that report. She may be 94 years old, but Minnie Mouse still has her finger on the pulse when it comes to the latest trends. For more of the showbiz news, let's have Justine for the details.
His girlfriend has put together an album of covers of some of Disney's greatest hits. But here, all of the songs have been given a lo-fi hip-hop twist, embracing a subgenre that has won over millions of music lovers around the world. Minnie Mouse worked with artists like Purple Cat, Touch Producer Reed, and Happy Simple Dreams to reimagine songs like You've Got a Friend in Me, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, and Into the Unknown. These new versions have been reworked in such a way that they can help promote concentration and relaxation. Two elements that are particularly sought after by fans of lo-fi hip-hop. Many took these soothing instrumental tracks on in the background because they offer a relatively passive listening experience. In fact, that's the whole point of lo-fi, to encourage productivity even if the extensive musical research on the subject is lacking. Lo-fi, which is short for low fidelity, is a subgenre that borrows melodies from the jazz repertoire and pairs them with the repetitive beats of hip-hop. This gives listeners a dose of motivation without being distracted by any words or musical eccentricities. As we've seen that Minnie Mouse identifies particularly with this functional version of music. Disney, in his official statement, said that Disney and Minnie Mouse are a natural fit with lo-fi, especially with Minnie's interest in creativity, music, and wellness, leaning into lo-fi's spectrum for self-expression and meditative properties. Lo-fi and Disney are both great sources of comfort, so the two make for a perfect match. Could it be this very innocence that made lo-fi so popular on the internet? Chances are it's contributing to it. YouTube channels specializing in lo-fi hip-hop often use images inspired by cartoon and manga aesthetics to create a comforting sonic and visual environment. This is reflected in the famous lo-fi girl. This young student, revising, has quickly become the symbol of this musical subgenre. So much so that the Chilled Cow channel, which had chosen to embody its identity, changed its name to Lo-Fi Girl. And that's the latest news from Showbiz. This has been Jessie Chloe. Have a good day.
That's all for the latest news, here and abroad. This has been Gabriel through a Magsito. May the Almighty Father bless us all. To God be all the glory.